What's up, guys? Chris here from Mainly Mesh. Theory Thursday. We're going to be talking about some shooting string setups and kind of how I have come to the way we string our shooters now. When I was in high school and the early part of college, I pretty much used only shooting strings in my sticks. Actually, for the longest time in my gate torques, I would have a straight, and then up top I did a stuffed nylon, which I found on E-Lacrosse forever ago, where you stick a shooting string inside, stick a sidewall inside of a shooting string and then melt it together, so it's a stuffed shooter, which creates a pretty cool feel. If you guys haven't tried that out, try it out. And then as I was stringing in college, one of the biggest complaints I would have from my teammates at the upper level, and it was a complaint that I never really had before, because before people loved how smooth everything was, but these college guys, now that they were shooting harder, would complain that they didn't have enough feel. They couldn't feel the ball come out of their stick. So what I ended up doing is converting to the nylon up top, and then eventually stacking a nylon on top of itself. And so you guys ask how to do this a lot. It's really just two woven nylons on top of each other, pulled very, very tight, so that I know that that nylon is going to be the release point of this stick. And so as we string a variety of sticks, you'll see that we tend to have one shooter just to control the angle of the pocket a little bit and to soften things up before that nylon. And the ball's really going to hop out once it hits that nylon. And a lot of that has to do with, firstly, the rules, trying to get the shooters out of the way of our sticks and our channels as we're stringing them more aggressively. But also just to make sure that you can feel the release of it, because no one likes the ball clicking out of your head. But it is nice when you're shooting to know that that ball is coming out in a consistent point. Helps you dial in your shot. So, the only real difference, and so that's actually why we've even moved away from more shooting string setups like this, where you had the two shooting strings and a nylon. If anything, we would drop the nylon down one more. So it's not that this isn't a good shooter setup. In fact, this is something I used for a while. It'll be a little bit softer coming out of the stick. So it's going to give you a little more glide, a little bit less snap of a feel. And so what you'll notice, though, is it's not really going to change the way the stick throws.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
And I will be editing that. Woohoo! So, hey, I'm back. What's up, guys? Chris here from Mainly Mesh. So this shooter setup is going to be a little bit softer, a little bit slower to come out of the pocket. Not slower in terms of not having a quick release, but it's just going to be a little bit softer and have a little more glide, I think, is the best way to describe it. And so it's really in catering to what a lot of people have requested over the years, that we do these type of setups. And so you can move it up one row or down a row, or if you want a really snappy pocket, get rid of the shooter entirely and just have the nylon. But basically what we're saying is that we go for the release point either being in this top row, the second diamond row, or the third diamond row. And so that's where we're going to put our nylon. And then we'll add one extra shooter just to soften it up a little bit and give it just that little extra bit more hold. But that's really as simple as it gets. And clearly we spend a lot more time focusing on what type of channel we're getting in the pocket. And it's nice because you can really control the way your stick throws by how you develop the pocket of your mesh. And then you really only need to worry about the shooting strings as a last resort in terms of how you're fine-tuning the release point of your stick. And so it just it gives everything its own purpose, makes things a little bit easier to understand. So that's that. Let us know if you guys have any more questions. I know you guys are going to ask about U's and V's, so just to say it, they aren't as consistent as just getting things out of the way and dialing in your mesh. So that's pretty much it. Thanks so much. Catch you guys next time.